This morning, a court order lifting the pause on deportation proceedings. The new stipulations it includes.
Plus, visas revoked for 13 current and former UW-Madison students, what the university is saying.
And China reacting to announcements of increased tariffs, the deadline associated with all of it.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3. Now this morning on a Tuesday, I'm Kyrie Lee.
I'm Chris Stanford. Thanks for joining us. We got our red on. We got our new Badger mugs.
Yes,
because it's Day of the Badger.
Day of the Badger. What a great couple of days that'll be for them to give back and just jump around a little bit.
That's right. We'll tell you all about it coming up. Checking in with Josh Breider, who's live out this morning in a moment. First, let's get over to Jacob Montesano because we got a cold start to your Tuesday. Hey, Jacob.
Yeah, Chris, temperatures right now in the teens for much of southern Wisconsin, 18 in Madison. How about 11 in Wisconsin Dells? A few areas still in the lower 20s, but we're about 10 to 15 degrees below normal. In fact, the record low for Madison is 9. Now we're very likely not going to get to that level, but we're closer to the record low than we are to the average low. So that goes to show you how cool it is out there. And compared to this time yesterday, we are about 20 degrees colder. Now, it was a little bit milder in the morning compared to normal as temperatures didn't really warm up throughout the day yesterday. So as we get towards the afternoon, the temperatures today will actually be maybe a little bit warmer than the afternoon temperatures yesterday. But despite the sunshine and very little wind, we're still going to see temperatures pretty easily below normal. Highs will be in the middle to lower 50s, so it will feel a little bit better despite the temperatures not being too much warmer. And across the area, we're going to see highs once again in the middle to lower 40s. But we have a chance of a rain-snow mix for Wednesday, so yes, there is another chance of snow, and I'll talk more in detail about that coming up a bit later.
All right, we'll talk to you then. Thank you, Jacob. First this morning, the Supreme Court will allow deportation proceedings under the Alien Enemies Act for now. This allows the Trump administration to continue to deport Venezuelans. It comes, though, with some stipulations. It's a 5-4 ruling that throws out a U.S. district judge's order against the deportations. One of the conservative judges, Amy Coney Barrett, sided with 3 liberal justices in dissenting. President Donald Trump said on Truth Social, it's a great day for justice. The Supreme Court says the men involved in the case can challenge the use of the Alien Enemies Act. They have to do it in the district where they were detained, though. It comes after ICE sent alleged Venezuelan gang members to an El Salvador prison while legal challenges were still playing out.
UW-Madison officials say some of its current and former international students had their visas terminated. This generally means the individual must leave the U.S. immediately. As of yesterday, 6 students and 7 alumni with employment extension are affected. Officials say it did not play a role in the terminations and do not believe the terminations are related to any free speech events or political activity. The exact reasons for the terminations are unknown.
Former State Supreme Court Justice Michael Gableman has agreed to surrender his law license.
This is in order to settle multiple misconduct violations. Gableman spread election conspiracies and led an investigation into President Trump's 2020 loss. The State Office of Lawyer Regulations filed a 10-count complaint in November against him. That complaint accused him of misconduct during the loss of investigation. Gableman says in the filing that the complaint provides, quote, an adequate factual basis and that he couldn't defend himself against the allegations. The Supreme Court has the ability to revoke his license, but they rarely do so in cases like these.
All right, now to the ongoing global trade war. This morning, China says that it will fight until the end. It comes after President Donald Trump threatened an additional 50% tariff. The president says China has until noon today to drop 34% retaliatory tariffs. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said that any country that retaliates against the U.S. with additional tariffs will be met with a new higher tariff. The president says he's not looking to pause the tariffs while countries negotiate either. The White House says more than 50 countries have come to the bargaining table to negotiate.
Goldman Sachs says the odds of a recession are much more likely in the wake of President Trump's tariffs. Economists raised their 12-month recession probability from 35% to 45%. It also slashed its yearly GDP forecast to 0.5%. Goldman says the downturn will worsen if Trump's tariff threats are carried out.
We're keeping an eye on the markets this morning. Asian markets made up some ground overnight. Tokyo's Nikkei picked up 6%. European markets are up as well, over 1 percentage point. In New York, markets are on pace to open in the green. Right now, Dow futures are trading 728 points above yesterday's close. That's about 2%. S&P futures are up 1.4%. NASDAQ futures are up 1.25%. So things are looking much better in the markets this morning for now.
The lucrative video game industry has seen fallout from new tariffs. According to Forbes, the industry made more than $180 billion worldwide in 2022. And recently, manufacturer Nintendo says that due to recent tariffs, it will delay the pre-order date for their newest console. An employee at Prepaid Exchange, a local video game store, says tariffs could impact the business.
As far as it affects our business, it's a double-edged sword. People will get more and more into the retro stuff and want to buy more of the older games, but it also means that people will be hanging on to their older collection and not want to give it up nearly as much.
He says this can keep your prices down. He also says getting into older video games can show manufacturers like Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony that just because they release new items doesn't mean consumers have to buy them.
There is a shortage for the hottest tea trend on the market, matcha. The 24% tariff on Japanese imports is set to go into effect tomorrow, and that could make matcha even more expensive. Importer Taylor Cowan says his Chicago company, Spirit Tea, noticed a shortage last year. The problem is the tencha leaves used to make the matcha are harvested at specific times, and there's only so many farmers. The Japanese government's trying to increase production, but Cowan says he has other concerns.
So many different facets which we're losing in the sort of fast, convenient, crosses the counter under 12 ounces of milk context.
Meantime, Sylvia Mella, who owns a tea house in New York, urges customers to drink the highest grade matcha the traditional way with hot water.
Scammers are trying to steal your data and they're using email to do it.
Our consumer reporter Michelle Renee Quinn is looking into this morning and has the warning. Good morning.
Chris, Kyrion, good morning. The Better Business Bureau warns consumers of this new email scam. Fraudsters impersonate trusted companies using urgent messages about unauthorized purchases to steal your data. It directs you to call fake numbers and click harmful links. That's an attempt to access your personal information. Experts warn to not click or download anything in these emails and never give out sensitive details. Always verify through official websites and customer service numbers. And if you are in doubt, get a second opinion. Experts encourage you to report phishing attempts to the company or email provider, and you can also report it to the Better Business Bureau at bbb.org.
Michelle Renee, thank you. Well, the Dodgeville School District is set to let go of 13 staff members and reduce programs after its referendum failed. Dodgeville Superintendent Ryan Bonsack says he understands the no votes at the ballot box, but he says without permission to raise the tax levy, they have to cut elective courses, extracurriculars, and 13 staff members. This will leave teachers with an extra 4 to 5 students.
Pinching back on resurfacing gym floors. We're pinching back on resurfacing parking lots. We've got a roof that's got a leak in it. We're going to be a different school district because we're going to have to make cuts, but we absolutely refuse to not educate our students.
2012 is the last time an operational referendum passed in Dodgeville. Bonsack says the district will have no choice but to go back to a referendum in 2026. There have been more than 200 operating referenda on Wisconsin ballots since the beginning of 2024. That accounts for about half of Wisconsin's 421 districts.
City of Madison calling for a recount to the District 19 race. Candidate Anthony Nino Amato filed the petition requesting a recount in wards 91 to 96. He lost to incumbent John Gekieri by just 9 votes. Acting City Clerk Michael Haas is ordering the Board of Canvassers now to meet on April 10th at 9 a.m. to begin a recount.
Country music star Luke Bryan is heading back for a Wisconsin farm show this summer. His annual farm tour will stop at Klondike Farms in Brooklyn on September 18th, one of 3 stops in the Midwest. Bryan has been running his farm tour since 2009. He plays at family farms across the country. He held a similar show in Brooklyn back in 2023 to a crowd of nearly 20,000 people. Ticket information can be found on our website, channel3000.com.
I'm sure the folks here are welcoming back with open arms. Hey, get ready for a fun-filled weekend of music. The UW Varsity Band is performing its annual concert on Friday and Saturday at the Kohl Center. This year's spring show is meant for all ages, of course. It'll feature hits from Ariana Grande and Michael Jackson, along with the fan favorites like Space Badgers and If You Want to Be a Badger. Both Friday and Saturday's concerts will start at 7:30 in the evening. You can find ticket information at channel3000.com.
Well, let's check in with Jacob. What's coming up?
Well, we're going to continue to see some cool temperatures for the next couple of days, but trust me, we will get to spring-like temperatures eventually. I'll talk about that coming up after the break.
And we're live at UW-Madison this morning where they are getting ready for the Day of the Badger. You can see folks are busy, and we're going to talk about what this means for you coming up live in the 608.
News 3 Now this morning, moving forward.
Time to see what's going on in the 608 today, and we got our Badger red on. We got our red mugs because it is the Day of the Badger.
Josh Prider is live on the UW-Madison campus with what this means for you at home. Josh, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, it's one of our favorite moments of the year live here on UW-Madison campus. You can see them getting really busy. Look at this big Day of the Badger balloon behind us. It's a little colder than what we'd like out here, but we're going to make the most of it with Betsy Popelka-Masnick joining us from the Wisconsin Foundation and Alumni Association. Betsy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Josh. So excited to be here.
You know, this is such a great time for the university because this is an opportunity for the community to really support those causes that are important to them.
That's right. Yeah, today is a giving day. We have 1,848 minutes in which we're inviting the Badger community to come together and support areas they care about on campus.
Why is the Day of the Badger so important for UW-Madison?
Well, it really helps raise critical funds for the university. No matter what you care about, you can find a cause here at the university to support at dayofthebadger.org.
And you know, this is so important for this community because this is what living in Madison is all about, and this is what we rally behind.
That's right, and it touches all parts of the state. If you think about the impact of the University of Wisconsin-Madison, it's really so much bigger than just the Madison community. So we invite all Badgers across the world to come together to support us today.
So over the next couple of days, it's going to be hard to not realize that it's the Day of the Badger because we have stuff like this going on. You guys really make this a fun event.
We do. We want to celebrate the joy of giving and the joy of the impact that support can provide to the university.
You know, there's a lot of history with the Day of the Badger here, too. You guys have been doing this a long time.
Yeah, this is our 6th Day of the Badger this year.
Wow. Okay, so how much has it grown over the years from where you just started it?
Oh, yeah. So it's grown every year. Last year was our biggest year yet. So we had over 7,000 gifts made. And so we're hoping to exceed that this year.
And when you talk about those gifts, there really is no too small of gift, right? Like all of that's going to go right to its likely mission.
That's right. Yeah, you can support over 150 areas of campus, and your gift will directly impact that area. So you can go and find causes to support at dayofthebadger.org.
And I love how you give plenty of time because you got not just 1, but 2 days of action.
That's right. We start today at 10:12 a.m. and we go until tomorrow at 5 p.m.
What's the significance of the 10:12 a.m.?
So that whole time accounts to 1,848 minutes, which is a nod to the year the university was founded.
Oh, I love that history. That's so cool. All right, so if people are interested and they want to help out. The wind is catching the balloon behind us. I'm waiting for it to hit. What do they need to know?
So go to dayofthebadger.org, starting at 10:12 a.m. today until 5 p.m. tomorrow.
Awesome. Betsy, thank you so much. We have this up on channel3000.com. A little breeze coming off of Lake Mendota. You can see we got to hold them in place here, guys, but we're having fun out here for the Day of the Badger. Again, everything you need to know up on channel3000.com. I'm glad you guys are supporting your red. And how about those new coffee mugs that the university gave us? Aren't those cool?
It's like a retro camping mug vibe. You like these?
Oh, yes.
Empty, no coffee in yours this morning.
Yes, mine is empty, but it's still beautiful. It's a beautiful mug.
Tell them thank you. Yeah,
it looks good still.
Pitch in. Day of the Badger, 125. Here we go.
Yes. Well, let's check in with Jacob. Good morning.
Good morning. I hope Josh is staying warm out there. Definitely a cold one to start your Tuesday, and it's going to remain rather cool through Thursday with the chance of a rain-snow mix, especially Wednesday, but some of that precipitation may linger into Thursday. But by the weekend, we are going to be a lot better with 60s in the forecast. So for today, by the afternoon, it's still going to be cool, but not quite as bad as yesterday, especially with the sun shining and the very little wind. Highs will be in the middle to lower 40s. Temperatures not really going to change too much for tomorrow, maybe a little bit milder further west, but we're still going to be in the 40s. However, tomorrow we do have that rain-snow mix. So let's take a look at that forecast. We will see a few clouds north and east of Madison throughout the day, but otherwise mostly sunny until the evening and overnight hours where clouds will increase. Not going to see any precipitation, though, until Wednesday morning. It'll start out as light precipitation with more consistent rain moving in during the afternoon, and then that rain will transition to snow as we get closer to the evening. And then by the evening, we are expecting quite a bit of our area to experience some snow showers, especially for Madison and areas to the east. The further west you're located, the less likely you will see this snowfall, because at this point, the precipitation will end before that rain transitions into snow. So this is going to continue through the evening and early overnight hours, but the consistent precipitation will end around midnight Wednesday night, and then into Thursday morning. We'll still see some light precipitation, but it'll be very isolated. A lot of the area may miss out on the rain entirely during this time frame, but we may continue to see these light showers and sprinkles and flurries into Thursday night as well. So overall, it's going to remain just kind of muggy starting Wednesday morning, lasting through Thursday night. And as far as the snowfall accumulation go, we could see a few inches, especially for areas to the east. Now, as we take a look at the Severe Weather Awareness Week, we do have our statewide tornado drill on Thursday, and it will likely occur Thursday just because there is no chance of severe weather. There will be 2 tests, one at 1:45 and one at 6:45. Now, we're not really going to see any severe weather in the forecast. We do have warmer temperatures, though, by the time we get to the weekend. Slight chance of showers right now on Sunday, but it doesn't look like those showers are going to impact plans too much. And then for Monday, temperatures will continue to warm up with another small chance of some rain as well. Those temperatures might cool down for the middle of next week, but they are still looking like about 10 degrees warmer than what we're going to see for the next couple of days.
All right, so lots to look forward to, but I'm looking forward to those 65 and up temperatures
That
here.
feel nice.
Yes, gonna feel real nice, real nice. All right, Jacob, thank you. Yard waste pickup starts on Sunday for some Madison neighborhoods.
That's right. You get 2 chances per usual. So one is next week, and then there's another one in May. Talking about curbside spring yard waste collection. Find your set-out date by visiting the website on your screen. Follow collection rules. Make sure to keep those piles off the street. Try to use compostable bags or open-top bags. If you miss your set-out date, again, you've got one in May. And there's also the drop-off sites that are scattered across town. They'll start with expanded hours this Saturday.
Urban forestry crews in Madison are kicking off their annual spring tree planting. Around 1,400 trees will be added along city streets throughout the month. Crews are planting 33 different species to create a more diverse, resilient urban canopy. After planting wraps up, crews will shift back to pruning and maintenance. A second round of planting is planned for the fall. Residents can find tree care tips and species info on the city's urban forestry website.
Time to get your hands dirty, get out there, do some spring cleanup. I started a little bit over the weekend. Just started, and I'm like, no, I still got a lot to do.
Oh, still
a lot to do.
A lot to do. Might last you through the spring, huh?
It might. No,
might.
I'll use that second pickup date for sure.
Yes.
Maybe even a trip or 2 to the drop-off site. We'll see.
Yeah, I can imagine that's a lot of work. So
It can be. Hey, still ahead, we're talking about a bold new twist on the classic Wisconsin cheesehead.
And coming up in our next half hour, tariffs spell trouble for Wisconsinites' financial futures, how they impact more than just investors.
And before we head to break, here's a look at your gas prices. We're back right after this.
This photo is from Gwen. She says, look at these piglets here. She said they're for you, Chris.
Okay. All right. I don't know what to make that.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Don't
You
worry,
love
Chris.
the baby.
I'll
You
take
said
that.
you love the baby farm animals. That's why.
That's right. I did say that.
Okay,
didn't
so
I?
see, that makes sense. But Michelle Renee
And you asked
specifically likes
specifically for the piggies.
Yes.
The piggies.
So
Thank
it
you,
all
Gwen.
worked out. Everyone gets a little bit of love this morning.
Yeah, it's the fabulous farm babe Pam Yankee is going to start asking for the spring babies photos on her Facebook page, and she'll share some of those with you if you're willing to get up early and join us at 4:35. You can see those in the air, or you can go to her Facebook page anytime and check them out.
Yeah.
Hey, trending this morning, new type of cheesehead. So the Kentucky Derby is less than a month away, and you know they got those fancy hats that the ladies wear for that. Well, check these out. Wisconsin Cheese unveiling the Rinds and Roses collection, a whimsical collaboration with the Derby's premier hat maker, Christine A. Moore. Essentially, it's a cheese board for your head. They're available right now at wisconsincheese.com. They retail for $1,500 to $3,000. I loved your comparison to the edible arrangement for your head.
Yes,
with
for
cheese.
your head.
But is this actual cheese, though?
It's gotta
it's got to be.
I hope so.
You can't say it's a cheese hat.
Cheese is better aged, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, especially when it bakes out in the sun.
It's gonna be
on top of
boiling
your
out
head
there if
for
that's the
hours.
It's not like they're going to have fresh curd on the hat, you know? Like, that shouldn't go in the fridge.
Is the only
but-
connection to the Kentucky Derby the hat maker, or is it like anything else?
I don't know, Jacob.
They wear these hats at the Derby. That's the connection. That's what they're for.
They're trying to make some money and promote their brand.
That too.
Yes.
Well, dessert franchise Crumble partnering up with the Kardashian family for a menu takeover. So they got some things that are going to honor the family starting through the 12th, if you're interested in any of that.
And those Kardashian Jenner cookies. All right.
There you go.
Stay with us. We're back after this.
I feel like it's completely out of our control.
This morning, how locals are reacting to all the market volatility and how you can stay prepared.
Plus, AI and healthcare, how it could streamline care for those battling addiction.
And March Madness is over, a thrilling finish to all those basketball games we've been watching over the last month. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to News 3 Now this morning on a Tuesday. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Kyrian Lee. Thanks for waking up with us this morning, rocking that Badger red. Got this
sun is
beautiful sunrise right behind us.
Right at us.
I mean, what could you ask for on a Tuesday?
A day of the Badger, a big day. We're going to talk to Josh Breiter coming up in just a few minutes to let us all know how we can participate this year and get involved.
Yeah, but don't let the early sunrise fool you because the temperatures are a lot different. There's no heat coming from that sun at this time. That is for certain.
Hopefully it'll warm things up quickly. Let's check in with Jacob, who's in for Savannah this morning. Yeah, look at those temps. Man.
Yeah, the sun is about the only nice thing about the weather right now. We are in the teens across the area. We're closer to the record low than we are to the average low. Now, we're not going to hit the record, which is 9 for Madison, but the average low is 33, 15 degrees below that right now for Madison. How about 12 in Wisconsin Dells? Single digits further north than that. Definitely a chilly start to the day, up to 20 degrees colder than this time yesterday. Now, it's worth noting that yesterday morning, a little bit milder compared to what we normally see during the morning, and the temperatures didn't really change much yesterday. They are going to change today, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that we are going to see calm winds, so that's going to allow the temperatures to warm up a little bit better than yesterday, but just by a little bit, as we're going to see highs in the middle to lower 40s. So by the afternoon, we actually will see warmer temperatures compared to yesterday, and with the sun shining and the calm winds, it definitely will feel better, but still about 10 degrees below the average high of 54. Now, as we look across the area, much of the same. May only see highs in the upper 30s for places closer to Lake Michigan. So overall, it is going to be another chilly one, and chilly temperatures will continue for the next couple of days with even another chance of some snow. I'll have the details on that coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. We start with the world economy this morning and the trade war. China now saying that they will fight until the end as President Donald Trump threatens an additional 50% tariff.
The president says China has until noon today to drop 34% retaliatory tariffs. It's in a post on Truth Social that Trump says that any country that retaliates with additional tariffs will be met with a higher tariff. The president says he is not looking to pause the tariffs while countries negotiate. However, the White House says more than 50 countries have come forward to try and negotiate.
Keeping our eye on the markets this morning, Asian markets made up some ground overnight. Tokyo's Nikkei picked up 6%. European markets open right now. They are up over 1%. And in New York, in overnight trading, markets are on pace to open up in the green. The Dow is up 830 points in overnight trading. That's about 2%. The NASDAQ and the S&P are up as well. So at the moment, things are looking much better across markets.
Goldman Sachs says the odds of a recession are much more likely in the wake of President Trump's tariffs. Economists raised their 12-month recession probability from 35 to 45%. It also slashed its yearly GDP forecast to 0.5%. Goldman says the downturn will worsen if Trump's tariff threats are carried out.
Locally, people in Madison sharing their concerns about their financial future. Some say what's bad for Wall Street is bad for the average American. The impact already being felt, extending just beyond just investors, now to retirement accounts and consumer confidence.
I feel like it's completely out of our control. and I can't see it really changing anytime soon.
It affects consumer confidence. It affects businesses who don't know how to invest.
And for some people, particularly our retirees or those who are going to retire soon, that's a problem.
Experts warn that markets will continue to fluctuate as trade tensions remain high. You know, it's nerve-wracking to watch all the volatility sink retirement accounts and weigh the options of just how or if to adjust.
Our consumer reporter Michelle Renee Quinn breaks down what this means for you out there. Michelle Renee, good morning.
Chris, Kyrian, good morning. Amid a global trade war causing financial fears, financial experts say don't panic. Making a hasty decision now can hurt you in the future.
This is not the time to be selling and running for the hills. If you're not in, this is a good time to get in.
Don't let the short term affect your planning for the long term. And for people that are just retiring, retirement is a long-term plan.
Experts say if you're near retirement age, working one additional year is one way to meet your long-term retirement needs. Cutting back on spending and diversifying your investments may help too.
You don't want to have to sell stocks at depressed prices. That will burn through your nest egg at a much faster rate.
Most of all, experts say to stay the course because historically, the market recovers. They also suggest young workers to continue investing in your 401k because you'll have plenty of time for the money in your account to recover.
All right, sage advice this morning. Be patient and don't panic. Thanks, Michelle Renee.
Absolutely.
New this morning, former state Supreme Court Justice Michael Gableman has agreed to surrender his law license. It's in order to settle multiple misconduct violations. Gableman spread election conspiracies and led an investigation into President Trump's 2020 loss. The State Office of Lawyer Regulation filed a 10-count complaint in November against him. That complaint accused him of misconduct during the loss investigation. Gableman says in the filing that the complaint provides, quote, an adequate factual basis and that he couldn't defend himself against the allegations. The Supreme Court has the ability to revoke his license, but they rarely do so in cases like these.
In other local news this morning, a person is dead after a shooting in Evansville. The Rock County Sheriff's Office says it happened Sunday morning on South Madison Avenue. There, they found one person shot who was taken to the hospital where they later died. The victim's identity has not been released at this time. The Sheriff's Office says there is no threat to the public.
UW-Madison says several of its current and former international students had their visas terminated. It generally means the individual has to leave the U.S. immediately. As of yesterday, 6 students and 7 alumni on employment extensions were affected. UW-Madison said it didn't play a role in the terminations. The university doesn't believe the terminations are related to any free speech events or political activity, though. The exact reason for the termination is not yet publicly known.
This morning, the search for a missing boater in the Wisconsin River continues. 20-year-old Francesco DiFilippo of Chicago is still missing after a boat he was on capsized last Thursday. Police say because of current river conditions, they have not been able to send underwater drones or divers to look for him. Still, police say they'll continue with shoreline searches in accessible areas. Police are reminding boaters to be wary of water conditions.
Happening today, Meritor nurses will strike, demanding improved safety and security. Nurses will be joined by Senator Kelda Roys and community and labor allies. They'll highlight their ongoing union contract negotiations. They demand practices to protect workers and patient ratios and wage increases to promote retention.
Wisconsin is experiencing a shortage in healthcare workers with growing demand for care. Healthcare agencies were hit hard during COVID, resulting in high turnover and vacancy rates. Now, the Wisconsin workforce is seeing an upward turn with a rise in employment. But health officials say it's not enough to meet a growing demand for care as the baby boom generation continues to get older.
As much as it's about recruitment, it's also about retention. So we talked a little bit about, the burnout trends and everything that we're seeing in the stress on the workforce earlier. It's absolutely also monitoring turnover and how are we retaining and how are we working to keep the staff that we have and really listening to their needs.
UW Health also offers apprenticeship programs and currently employs more than 350 apprentices to fight healthcare shortages.
Researchers at UW say AI could be used to streamline care for those battling addiction. A new algorithm developed by UW scientists can search for patterns related to opioid use disorder. Patients identified by the AI screening who got consultations were 47% less likely to go back to the hospital within 30 days. Researchers say it's because the tool encourages doctors to think about withdrawal and what care the patient can get outside the hospital.
help the patients to reduce the harm that they may receive from their addiction disease, give them Narcan and fentanyl test strips and other things that are beyond just the medications that we give for opioid use disorder.
Doctors at UW have a committee that reviews AI software so patients aren't misidentified. Researchers hope that the tool can be used for other types of conditions in the future.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is making a switch on the measles vaccine. This follows the second death of a child from the virus in Texas. Kennedy says the most effective way to prevent the spread of measles is the MMR vaccine. This is the first time he's expressed explicit support for the vaccine. He also says he is working with Texas health officials to control the outbreak. Kennedy faced backlash for suggesting alternative treatments like vitamin A and cod liver oil, which doctors say will not prevent measles.
Secretary Kennedy also planning to tell the CDC to stop recommending fluoride in the drinking water. Kennedy can't order communities to stop entirely. He can, though, direct the CDC to stop recommending it and work with the EPA to change the allowed amount in water. States have the ability to ban fluoride in the water. Utah just became the first to do so. Well, we now know when the Brewers will hold that public ceremony to honor the life of broadcaster Bob Uecker. It'll be ahead of the Giants game on August 24th. The team will hold an event featuring special guests. They'll have some exclusive videos from Uecker's life. Bob Costas will host.
The Florida Gators are champions of men's college basketball. In San Antonio last night, the Gators held on to top the Houston Cougars 65-63. Florida needed a second half comeback to do it after trailing by 12 points. The game extremely close through the final minutes. With just 46 seconds to go, Florida took the lead for the first time since the first half. Florida wins its third men's college basketball championship. It's the first since going back to back in 06 and 07.
Congratulations to you. You had Florida winning it all.
Yeah, Florida winning it all. Like, that was probably one of the only things that I got right on the bracket. I was good early on, but then, there were a lot of upsets throughout this tournament. So, hey, it would have been nice to see some red and white confetti fall from there, but that's okay.
Did you celebrate last night? Did you watch the
No,
finale?
I didn't even. I just did a bracket for fun,
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's all. It's all in good fun. No, I did not even watch the game.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Just seeing the highlights this morning, actually.
Yeah,
so
thrilling
there you
finish.
go.
Thrilling
Exactly.
finish.
Well, let's check in with Jacob. What's coming up?
Well, we're going to continue to see some more winter-like temperatures, but spring-like temperatures are on the horizon. I'll have the full forecast coming up.
And it's the day of the Badger. We're live at UW-Madison here at Alumni Park where they're gearing up for a big day. And I'm going to talk about how you can take part right at home in the 608.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Good morning, everybody. Here's a final look at the three things you need to know. We're going to be seeing cool temperatures through at least around Thursday, with a rain-snow mix expected for Wednesday, and then by the weekend, temperatures will be a lot better. Here's a look at today's forecast. Plenty of sunshine and calm winds, but temperatures still on the cooler side. Highs will be in the middle to lower 40s. Overall, though, not too bad. It definitely will feel warmer than yesterday with the sunshine. But tomorrow, even though temperatures may be a little bit warmer, it actually might feel cooler because of the cloud cover and some of the wind we're seeing. Now, it might actually feel warmer further west where lower 50s are possible, but the majority of our area will see rain, especially through the afternoon and evening, and that rain will transition to snow. So looking at the forecast, clear skies today, clouds will increase overnight, and as we head into Wednesday morning, that's when we will begin to see some light showers move through our area. Could see some light snow early, but for the most part, we're going to see mostly rainfall for the first half of the day and more consistent showers in the afternoon, and that rain will transition into snowfall, especially for Madison and areas to the east. Now, places off to the west, the rain will have likely come to an end before it transitions to snow. So you folks off near the Mississippi River, not expected to see that snowfall. But again, Madison and areas east expected to see snow showers in the later afternoon through the evening. Could even see some accumulation, especially further east towards Milwaukee, where maybe an inch or two could be possible. Dane County and areas just to the east will see about a half inch. Now, the consistent precipitation will clear out by early Wednesday night, but we're going to continue to see some light sprinkles and flurries throughout the night Wednesday and for most of Thursday, possibly even lasting into Thursday night. So overall, it's going to be a very gloomy forecast from about Wednesday morning through Thursday night, as we'll see consistent cloud cover and at least a small chance of precipitation. And temperatures Not going to be very warm either, as we'll see high temperatures only in the middle 40s. Then they'll get to the middle 50s for Friday, near 60 Saturday. And although we do have a chance of rain Sunday, highs will be in the middle 60s. And it doesn't look like the rain will impact any outdoor plan, or at least impact outdoor plans too much that you may want to have with those 60s on the weekends. And then we could be even warmer on Monday before temperatures cool down a little bit, but still warmer for the middle of next week than what we're going to see for the next couple of days right now.
Kind of touch and go here this next stretch.
Yeah, it might be the last stretch where we consistently are seeing 40s as temperatures this time of year continue to warm up on average, and it looks like we'll see those warmer temperatures by the weekend.
Yeah, for the farmers market open on Saturday.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
All right, thanks, Jacob. Time to see what's going on in the 608 this morning, and it's a special day because it's the Day of the Badger.
That's right, time to jump around. Josh Ryder is live on the UW-Madison campus with what this means for you at home. Josh, good morning.
Or Bucky, you guys decide. We're live here at Alumni Park this morning, where it is a chilly morning, but of course we're having fun, because how could you not have fun when we're talking about the Day of the Badger? You can see them busy blowing up the big red balloons behind us. They're tying them down so the wind off Lake Mendota doesn't send them flying across the university this morning. But this is your chance to give back to a great cause. We're talking about the Day of the Badger, and here to break down a little bit more about what this means for you at home is Betsy Popelka-Masnick of the Wisconsin Foundation and Alumni Association. Betsy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Josh. We're so excited to be here.
You know, the Day of the Badger, this is such a great mission that you guys have been doing for 6 years now. And what's the reason behind it?
Yeah, the goal is to raise critical funds for the university in this online Giving Day event.
And why is it important for you guys to host a Day of a Badger like this?
Yeah, private support is really important to the university and helps make so much possible. And Day of the Badger is an opportunity for us to come together as a Badger community to give back to the university.
It's going to be hard to miss that it is the Day of the Badger, because you have big props like this that are going to be all across the university over the next couple of days.
That's right, yes.
Why is it so important for you guys to have some fun with this too?
Well, it's really fun to give back. There's a lot of joy in giving, and we want to celebrate the impact the university has on our community, and so we want to make that a joyful event.
Let's talk about that impact, because you guys have been able to raise a lot of money through this event in particular.
That's right. Over $8 million in the last 6 Day of the Badgers, and we want to continue to grow that support, and we really like to celebrate that everyone could come together to make a gift, no matter the size.
When you started this 6 years ago, did you realize how much of an impact this was going to have? I mean, $8 million, that is a big chunk of change.
It is a big amount, and we really just celebrate everyone being part of that.
And when you talk about the future, that's what it's all about, and that's what makes UW-Madison so great, is everyone wants to get involved.
That's right. Yeah, we really want to celebrate that, and there are over 150 causes that you can give to through dayofthebadger.org. So you can really find whatever you care about. There's a place you can give that support to today.
And there's not just one day, you get 2 days of opportunities to make this happen too.
That's right. It starts at 10:12 a.m. today and it goes until 5 p.m. tomorrow.
So for our viewers that maybe missed our last segment, what's the history behind 10:12? Why is that the start time?
Yeah, so that accounts for 1,848 minutes, which is a nod to the year that the university was started.
I think that is so cool. Awesome. All right, so hit us with the details. If people want to help out, what's the best way for them to do so?
Yes, please go to dayofthebadger.org.
All right, super simple for us. We have that up on channel3000.com as well. Betsy, thank you so much. And here's the Day of the Badger.
Yes.
If you'd like to learn more, again, go to our website, guys. We've got plenty of time to be able to make an impact. You can see I'm having fun with this. This is what it's all about, right? It's not about just about raising money, but it's about feeling that impact and really feeling that positive energy. And what better way to do that than right here at UW-Madison, guys?
Yeah, it's about getting the community together and rallying around a common cause and giving back to what makes our community so great.
I'll say cheers to the Day of the Badger here.
There we go.
There we go.
Josh, thank him for the mugs for us.
Those special mugs. Yes, you bet.
Well, coming up in the morning sprint, how plant-based diets can affect heart health.
If you have a little kiddo turning 3 soon, send us a picture. We'll show it on TV. The sprint is next. 6:54, time for the morning sprint.
China's Commerce Ministry says they will fight until the end as President Donald Trump threatens an additional 50% tariff. The president says China has until noon today to drop 34% retaliatory tariffs. In a post on Truth Social, Trump says that any country that retaliates against the U.S. with additional tariffs will be met with a higher tariff.
The Supreme Court will allow deportations under the Alien Enemies Act for now. There are some stipulations, though. They say the men involved in the case can challenge the deportations They have to do it in the district where they were detained, though. Justices say anyone facing deportation under the wartime law should have that opportunity.
A person is dead after a shooting in Evansville. The Rock County Sheriff's Office says it happened Sunday morning on South Madison Avenue. There, they found one person shot who was taken to the hospital where they later died. The victim's identity has not been released. The Sheriff's Office says there is no threat to the public.
UW-Madison says 6 students and 7 alumni on employment extensions have had their visas terminated. The university says it did not play a role in the terminations and believes it's not related to any free speech events or political activity. The exact reason for the termination is not yet known publicly.
Former state Supreme Court Justice Michael Gableman has agreed to surrender his law license. This comes after the State Office of Lawyer Regulation filed a 10-count complaint in November against him. Gableman spread election conspiracies and led an investigation into the President Trump's 2020 loss. The complaint accused him of misconduct during the investigation.
Wisconsin Dells police continue the search for a missing boater. A 20-year-old Chicago man is still missing after the boat he was on capsized late Thursday. Police say because of current river conditions, they haven't been able to send any underwater crews to look for him. They will, in the meantime, continue to search the shoreline.
Research on 2 popular plant-based diets show they can lower the risk of heart disease deaths. A study by the European Society of Cardiology says the planetary health diet and the Mediterranean diet are both good for the heart and the environment. Both diets focus on eating fruits and vegetables and whole grains and eating fewer red or processed meats.
And here's a final look at your 10-day forecast. Quiet but cool today, and the cool temperatures will continue through Thursday with that rain-snow mix Wednesday. Some light precipitation may continue Thursday, but after we are going to see those temperatures begin warming up. 50s Friday, near 60 for Saturday, even warmer for the start of early next week. So we're almost there to those 60s. Just got to hold on a few more days.
Just a few more days. Yeah. All right, Jacob, thank you.
We're back in 30 minutes with the news and